The human warrior repaired the warrior woman's blunt arrows, not knowing she ruled a feared galaxy. The woman staggered from the edge of the crater, blood streaking her bronze armor, her braid frayed with soot and sand. She held a broken bow in one hand and a quiver filled with blunt, warped arrows in the other. Her breathing was ragged, hidden by a rocky outcrop. The human named Garan had been watching her for nearly an hour. At first, he'd thought she was just another scavenger picking through the remains of a fallen skirmish. But when she moved, when her stance settled into the unmistakable poise of a trained warrior, he knew better. Still, she looked half dead. He stepped out. "You're not going to hit much with those arrows." She spun, fast as lightning despite her wounds. A dagger was in her hand, in an instant aimed at his throat. He raised both palms. "Easy, just trying to help." Her eyes narrowed, piercing gold beneath a smeared helmet. "Help? A human? What game is this?" "No game. I'm not with any faction." He gestured to the small campfire behind him. "Just someone who knows a little about bows and survival." She didn't lower the blade. "Why would I need a human's help?" "You don't," Garan said, stepping back. "But your arrows are warped, your string is frayed, and you're bleeding from 3 places." She hesitated. Then she sheathed the dagger. By dusk, the two sat by the fire. Garan gently straightened each of her arrows by the heat, reshaping the shafts, readying fletching with thread from his own pack. He replaced a bowstring with one of his spares and applied balm to her wounds when she finally let him. "You could have killed me," he muttered as he adjusted the nock on one arrow. "You still don't know who I am," she replied. Garan raised an eyebrow. "Should I?" She studied him. "You don't recognize my crest?" He glanced at the broken quiver, then shook his head. "I don't really care about crests. Only people." She went silent at that. For someone who had spoken like royalty before, it was unusual. The next morning, she was already awake, practicing with the repaired bow. Arrows flew smooth and sharp. Garan watched from the hilltop, impressed. "You got serious training." "I command millions," she said flatly. He chuckled. "Sure you do." Her lips twitched. "Doubt me?" "Not doubting," Garan replied. "But you're standing here on this rock with me." Not very empress-like. She didn't reply, but her gaze lingered on him. That afternoon, the sky filled with the deep hum of engines. 3 black ships pierced the clouds, casting shadows over the canyon. Garen's face tightened. "You expecting company?" Her eyes darkened. "They've come for me. Friends. Assassins." In a flash, her bow was drawn. Garan didn't ask more. He simply grabbed his spear and stood beside her. When the drop pods opened and armored soldiers spilled forth, he saw it in their eyes. Fear. Not for him. For her. Target. High Queen Alnari of the Rican Dominion. One of them barked. Garan stared. "Queen?" "As in ruler of the Galaxy Queen." She loosed an arrow that shattered a soldier's visor. "Yes." "Right. Just making sure." The battle was brutal. Garan moved like a ghost among the rocks, using his spear and traps to disrupt the attackers. Alnari was a storm of fire and grace, her arrows, once useless, now striking with deadly precision. He had never seen anyone fight like her. Together, they drove the assassins back. When the last one fell, Alnari stood over his body, panting. Garan limped to her side. "You're bleeding again." She laughed bitterly. "So are you." "I'm a human," he smirked. "We bleed a lot." Later, as they patched up each other under the stars, Garan asked, "So why were you out here alone?" Alnari's gaze turned distant. "I was betrayed. My own council tried to remove me. Said I'd grown weak, too merciful." Garan tilted his head. "Merciful? That's a strange accusation." I spare a colony. Human. Refugees. They said I'd shame my title. Garan was quiet. Then I'm glad they failed. She looked at him. You're strained for a human. Why? You helped me without knowing who I was. And if I'd known, she leaned slightly closer. Would you still have repaired my arrows? He smiled. I would have done more than that. A transmission pinged through the wreckage. Her personal beacon, untraceable, encoded. Your forces, Garan asked. They found me, Alnari replied. Her warship appeared hours later, a sleek obsidian monolith bristling with power. The landing bay opened like the maw of a dragon. Soldiers poured out and knelt as she approached. High Queen, we feared you lost. I was found, she said, glancing back at Garan. The commander raised an eyebrow. By a human? She ignored him and walked to Garan. You could come with me. He chuckled. You want to take me to rule the stars? I want someone beside me who doesn't care about my title, she said simply, who sees me as a person. He studied her, then shrugged. Well, you did ruin my arrows again. She laughed. They left the battlefield together. The galaxy would come to fear the name Alnari again, but whispered just as often, in the shadows of royal halls and alien cantinas, was another name, Garan, the unknown human who stood beside the queen, the man who once repaired her blunt arrows without knowing she ruled entire worlds. And she never forgot it.